Welcome to the Bible Answer Man broadcast with Christian Research Institute President Hank Hanegraaff. Our mission at CRI is not only to equip you with sound biblical teaching and spiritual discernment, but to help you become a winsome and fruitful witness of Jesus Christ. Because the credibility of our faith hinges on the answers we provide to life's biggest questions, there's often not a second chance to get those answers right. To learn more or to find resources to help you grow in grace, call 888-7000-CRI. That's 888-7000-274. Or go to our website at equip.org. That's equip.org. The following program was pre-recorded. And now, here's Hank Hanegraaff.
Thanks very much, Randy. We'll go to your calls in just a few moments. One of my favorite quotes is that of a famous World War II American general named Omar Bradley, who said, "We have men of science, too few men of God. We've grasped the mystery of the atom and rejected the Sermon on the Mount. The world has achieved brilliance without conscience. Ours is a world of nuclear giants and ethical infants." You think about the reality of that bearing its ripened fruit in the presence of millions of aborted babies. When I say aborted babies, I'm not misspeaking. So often the language of fetus is used. But these are children that have not a fully developed personality, but full personhood from the moment of conception. That's not a Christian contention alone. It is plain old evidence in an age of scientific enlightenment. And yet, the Holocaust continues. And I fear that it's not simply today a rejection of the Sermon on the Mount, but a failure to recognize what the Sermon on the Mount is to begin with. It is perhaps the most elegant literary sermon given in passionate prose, in real time and space, by the one who spoke and the universe leapt into existence. And yet, very few people can name Jesus as the author of the Sermon on the Mount. Worse yet, fewer than half of all adults today can name the four Gospels. 5 out of 10 believe that anyone who's generally good during their life will earn a place in heaven. Only 1 out of 10 Christians themselves base their moral decision-making on the principles taught in Scripture. And as a result of no longer living in the pages of the Bible, but rather living in the shadow of the Bible, we have lost our saltiness. That's how Jesus put it. In the Sermon on the Mount, he said, when the salt has lost its saltiness, it is no longer good for anything, except to be thrown out and trampled by men. He variously went on to say in the Sermon on the Mount that we are supposed to be a light on a hill. But if a light is put under a bowl, it can't give light to anyone. The purpose is to make our light so shine before men that they see our good deeds and praise our Father who is in heaven, which is to say that we are called to communicate with our life, with our love, and with our lips. One of the things that we do at the Christian Research Institute is equipping. That's why we have a website called equip.org. It's to equip God's people to always be ready to give an answer, a reason for the hope that lies within them, with meekness and reverence. Not to win an argument or show that you're smart, but rather to reach someone. And we have only one life, and soon that life will be past, and only what's done for Christ will last. And it's why we're asking people to stand shoulder to shoulder with us in the battle for life and truth. We do what we do not to be politically correct or popular, or even to create a bigger platform or prosperity as a ministry, but rather to make a difference. It's an ontological imperative. Big words, but what that ultimately means, it's not something that's a nicety, it's a necessity, and something that comes not from a trite whim, but from the deepest core of our being. We are called for just such a time as this, and we're asking those who are called to stand with us for just such a time as this. If you are one of those that can make a difference, standing shoulder to shoulder with us in the battle for life and truth, it would be deeply appreciated if you would support the ministry financially today. You can give in a safe, secure fashion on the web, equip.org. When you write me, Post Office Box 8500, Charlotte, North Carolina, zip code 28271, or when you talk to one of our resource consultants, that number 888-7000, and the letters CRI. A lot of you